What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and it's Fresh Build Friday. That's right, it's that time of the week again where we get you ready for the weekend with a brand new Coil build. So as I was looking over all my devices, I was thinking, what do I want to build for this week's Fresh Build Friday? I think I've done them all, and then I saw it there, sitting all alone, all by itself, and it was the Merlin Mini. I haven't done a build video on the Merlin Mini, so that's what we're going to be doing today. I figured let's try something different and something that you can really only accomplish on this particular build deck. So we're going to build the single coil on this one here, and we're going to do it, you know, my style, I guess. So go ahead and grab your mod, your wick, your addy, your wire, your juice, all that good stuff. Let's go down to the close-up view and build it up. Alright guys, so as you can see here, I've got this brand spanking new Predator mod by Wismec. And I figured, you know, might as well throw a build on there that we can use on this thing. And today we're going to be using this Merlin Mini. I haven't put a single coil build on the Merlin Mini on camera, so I figured what better time than now. And I think we're going to have a pretty good combination of everything. I've got this leftover stainless steel fuse Clapton wire from our previous Fresh Build Friday video. So that's what I'm going to be using today, just a scrap of wire. And I'm just going to kind of show you guys what you can do with just a simple scrap of fuse Clapton that you might have left over. But again, I have a feeling that this is going to work really well as a single coil, considering we're going to be using a big old bit today. This is the 3.5mm bit on our jig here. So I feel like the diameter mixed with the resistance of the wire itself and the power of the mod is all going to come into play with this one here. So let's go ahead and get started, move that mod out of the way, and we'll make our coil here. So as I said, I've got the 3.5mm bit on here. So we're going to have a big old coil. I'm going to hold this off the edge of the actual jig. And I think what we're going to do today is probably 5 wraps. I want to keep this on the narrower side, I suppose, because there's not much room in between those posts. So that's 2, 3. I think we're going to have just enough wire for it too. 4 and 5. If I can get this one around. Yep. Just like that. Alright, let's have our leads face both the same way here. Make sure we take as much slack out of that wire as we can. And there we go. That's our coil for this Merlin Mini build that we're going to do today. So first thing I'm going to do, since this end piece here is a little bit janky, I'm just going to clip off a little bit of that excess wire. Just like that. That thing went flying. We're going to put it right in our post here. And this goes in pretty easily. These post holes are pretty large and in charge, so really no issues there. So I'm actually going to tighten down on the negative terminal first, because the positive lead I have a little bit more slack with here. So just tighten that one down. Like that. And then I'm going to take my pliers and just give it a quick little tug like that. Bend it up a little bit, make sure it's nice and tight on there, it's not going anywhere. And then we're going to tighten down the positive side. You know, these Allen headed screws are not the easiest to work with here. I know you guys have told me in the past that I should get an actual Allen screwdriver set, and that is really good advice, and I probably should have taken that advice, but I don't know, I'm lazy. I don't like going to the hardware store, so I'll just deal with the ones that come in the box for right now. And I'm actually going to just kind of bend this thing up a little bit just to make sure I have enough clearance and everything else, and make sure my leads are nice and tight. Yeah, that one could have used an extra, pretty much half a turn there. And this one, double check that. Ooh, yeah, these suckers you could really jam in there. And you want to make sure your leads are really good and tight before you start firing that coil, because the resistance is going to jump around like crazy otherwise. So Just kind of doing a little bit of preliminary work to eliminate some problems later. So I'm kind of positioning that right over the air hole there. And for the record, I do have the little piece that goes in the airflow slot out. I took that out because I want the most amount of airflow that I can. And even before anything, I'm just going to pinch it up just real quick. I think that looks good. We're going to trim our wire. Ooh, that went flying too. I think that one's stuck in the wall over there. Anyways, I'm going to turn down my mod real quick. So we're going to start it out right about 40 watts there and just kind of give it a quick test fire, making sure everything is good to go. And especially with this stainless steel wire, you want to kind of heat it up a little bit slower and bring out that color as much as you can, because that color is really one of the best things about stainless steel. So the next step, we're going to be doing a little bit higher wattage here. I've got it about 70 watts. That might be our final resistance, to tell you the truth. Since it is a single coil, I don't want to throw too much wattage at this thing. And we want to just make sure all those hot spots are out. Oh yeah, now we're looking good. Alright, so our coil is glowing from the middle out, which is good. It's exactly what we want here. So, that means I think we're ready to wick it. Alright, it's the moment of truth. Let's see if it vapes. Wow. Not bad for a single coil at 75 watts. So let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the build. Now let's talk about the coil that we just put in here. So first and foremost, it came out to 0.17 ohms. I'm vaping it at 65 watts at 3.32 volts. I did have to turn it down from 75 after I put the tank on there and filled it up, just because I had a few vapes and it felt like it was kind of drying out that wick a little bit too quickly for my liking. But with that, let's get on with the heat, which is our first category. So I have the airflow set wide open, and I removed that little restrictor plug in the deck beforehand. So with the settings I have it at right now, it's very comfortable. It's kind of that warm to hot vape, that kind of Goldilocks vape, if you will. It's not too hot. I feel like at 75 it was way too hot for me, and anything lower than that, I'm just not going to really get the desired vapor production that I'm looking for. So I have a feeling that this is kind of the nice comfort zone with this coil right here. But with that, moving on to our second category, we have the ramp up and ramp down time. This mod does feature a preheat function. I really haven't messed around with it. I've had it less than 12 hours, so I can't tell you much about it right now, but be sure to be on the lookout for the review of the Predator 228 coming up probably next week. But with that, I have it, 65 watts. That's just right for me. About a half a second of ramp up time, and yeah, let's go ahead and check out the ramp down. So I'm getting about a 3 to 4 second ramp down time, which isn't too bad. I'd say it's just slightly above average. Normally I'm used to about a 2 to 3 second ramp down time, which is kind of within the acceptable realm. So with this one here, it's just barely beyond that, but I think it's okay for me personally. But at 75 watts, I was getting about a 5 to 6 second ramp down time, which is definitely not very good. I don't like my coil drying out that much for a single pull, especially since I tend to chain vape a little bit. I'll take puff after puff, and then you have completely dry, burnt out wicks within, a couple of days, and that's not a good thing. So for the difficulty of this build, this one was pretty darn easy. I mean, for me, fuse Claptons are a cinch. I mean, I even had this stuff left over from last week's Fresh Build Friday video, so with that, I mean, it was even easier for me. It's basically just wrapping a quick coil, throwing it in there, tightening it down, tuning it, boom, wick, bum, done, done, done. Do yourselves a favor and learn how to do fuse Clapton coils, because by far they are my favorite coils to date. They are great for flavor, they're great for vapor production, they can be low resistance, you can make them high resistance with certain types of wire, you can do a comp build with them, you can throw a parallel in there and make it really low resistance if you want to. It's just kind of the do anything coil, so just do yourselves a favor and learn how to build fuse Claptons, because you will thank me for that later. And my final category, which is the flavor on this one here, it is excellent. I gotta say, the flavor is on point. I'm using some of this Blaz e-liquid, Blazberry to be more specific, and it is really, really good stuff. It's a blue raspberry strawberry, and I get all of the notes of flavor in there. It's a really nice, ripe kind of strawberry flavor, and then you got that sweet blue raspberry back note to it. So, the fruity flavors for me tend to be a little bit more delicate, and I feel like, you get every sort of nuance in there that you could possibly find. Plus, it is on the thicker side, so I am getting a little bit better vapor production. This stuff is 80-20. So with that, flavor's good, vapor's good, heat is good. Everything about this build is on point. So really digging this one. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Of course, if you want to be notified about when I upload videos, then join the notification squad by clicking the little bell over there by the subscribe button and signing up for notifications so you can be among the first to watch my Fresh Build Friday series. Don't forget to leave me comments in the box below about anything you want to discuss down there, whether you like this build or if you have a suggestion for a future episode of Fresh Build Friday, just drop it on down there. Also, check out the advocacy and my social media links I have in the box below. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and as always, vape on!